Well, I mentioned it, I think, in a post. I need to sell these. I just can't. I can't with the black boots. It's not working for me. But I felt like I should do a video of them, especially if I get them sold, like I hope. Just to have a record of them. You've seen these probably in some of my other videos in the Prospector. This was a eBay buy I got almost a year ago. What's interesting about this is 2021 production, so it actually has the McKay stitch inside, so they're stitching between the midsole and the insole. So you can actually see, if you look inside the boot, they're stitching around the toe. And you can kind of feel it when you walk, especially if you wear thin socks like I like to wear. But I think if you were a thicker sock person, it's probably not as noticeable, but Nix talks about how one of the reasons they stopped it, part of it was a cost savings. Like, it's not really necessary to have that overbuild and the cost, but also they said customer complaints. So they kind of nixed that. But there's other differences. So if you look at the heel, they used to leave a lot more of a ledge there. Let me show you this closer. So it's a lot more of a ledge, which you can kind of see it sticking out the back. And that allows them to do a more aggressive dogger heel. There's been a lot of discussions like there were last year and on Reddit, but there was a pretty unhappy guy who, ordered the dogger, and he had examples of other builds that were the same, moderate heel stack where it had the significant angle like this. And, even my, what's it called? My original pair of Nix, which they call the Prospector, but as I talked about in some videos, has a two-piece backstay, heel stay, so it's not the true Prospector with a single piece. They sold it on the ready to ship as Prospector, but anyway, it's a leather sole, but it still has a moderate stack. There's just happens to be this extra little triangle piece of leather at the bottom. But other than that, it's only a 3-layer, and it still has the aggressive angle. So they used to do this, but now that they're kind of for whatever reason, they've started to sand in the heel a lot closer, which does look better aesthetically as far as it being tighter, not having this big, this almost has like a cowboy boot vibe with the big ledge back there. They intentionally do it on cowboy boots to hold spurs, is what I meant to say. The spurs, what mounts on the back, to push on the horse or whatever to get him to go. With little spikes, a little spike wheel. I'm not a cowboy, but seen it. Anyway, that's what I think of with this when you see some, kind of rodeo specific cowboy boots meant for riding. They'll have a much bigger ledge. And you can even order, I think with Nix, they call it a spur shelf, where they not only, I think, leave it longer, but they put like a rubber thing, almost like a heel rand on top, so you can keep hitting it and mounting stuff on it without it damaging the leather, because it's a rubber. Almost looks like maybe they are using a slip sole piece on the back. You can tell them because they'll have the black rubber instead of the visual leather there. Anyway, they've changed the way they do it. I prefer the steeper angle, but because they insist on using the stupid quabog, it ends up being a problem. It's not an issue if you use the other heels, or top lifts. I talked about that a little bit on my Ultimate Prospector video, where with the correct 430 heel cap, top lift, whatever you want to call it, matching the sole, it's a thicker top lift heel cap, so it allows them to kind of sand it down more without it mattering. But, some of this stuff, I scratch my head why they do things they do, why they're doing the things the way they do, but it's not my control. But to me, the biggest thing is the way the heel is done is significantly different. The McKay stitch is obviously a construction difference, but other than that, it's pretty consistent. I would say this fits a little different. It actually seems, I would say snugger, I guess, in the kind of the ball area, maybe in the toes too. I don't know. I'd say really the toe is much different. It feels a little bit, I don't know. I guess it's kind of like the heel and the ball, which includes, your little toe and maybe slightly bit of the big toe. But these definitely feel, I have noticed that. And they visually look a little slimmer. Like if I put them front on compared to my other 11E Prospectors, they kind of bulge out and kind of, even when they're new, and kind of hang over the welt slightly. Whereas these vertically, you can completely see the 2 stitch rows if you see that. It's definitely like a different lasting. I don't know if that was how they used to do it or whoever just happened to last this versus the current guys they have last in their boots. But that's a difference as far as just variance. But as far as the pattern, everything's the same. And you know, visually, I think this is a freaking awesome looking boot. Super dope. But I never wear. I rarely wear them. They don't come up in the rotation a lot because of the black. And I just realized I just got to move on. And you know, maybe the slightly tighter fit is like something else that's on my mind. I don't really think about it until I wear them for a while. Like I put them on, they feel fine, but it's like by the end of the day, I can definitely tell they're a little bit tighter than my other 11Es. So I'll make sure to mention that if I end up having to throw these on eBay, if I can't find anyone wanting to get them. And then I have a couple options here as far as kilties. These were the ones that came with them, which are obviously MaxSupport Black. The previous owner had the smooth side out, which you kind of see a lot, where you kind of have the smooth, even though they have a rough out. So that will change the look a little bit. And then, you know, I have these guarded goods kind of, I don't want to say, not purple, but maybe like a redwood color, whereas the standard Nicks are more of a black or super dark brown. And, you know, I might take pictures, I guess, with both, depending on how I end up, you know. If I list on eBay, I'll definitely take more pictures. But, you know, I figured the video might be useful too. And these were Obenoft, you know, the HD paste not too long ago, so they kind of have a really cool shine to them. They are really cool. I've just accepted I can't wear black boots. It's just not my vibe. Tried to wear it with my tan pants. It just doesn't feel right. So I got to pass these along. But yeah, 11E. Let's see if I can get this for the camera here. You can see right here. So the issue here. You can see 721 right here under my thumb. And then 11E. It's hard to see in the black, but. And there's no way I can get the video to show the McKay, but I could maybe I'll pop in a photo. I've taken photos on the inside. Mostly just looking at my obsession over foot placement as one of the variables on, is this the right, you know, perfect fit? Because I was always trying to chase this perfection fit, which I don't think really exists with standard last sizes. I think you really need to do a custom fitting, you know, because I do think like 11E, as far as the heel and instep and everything, is perfection for me. But I sometimes wonder about I'm talking 11067 only, because to me each last fit different. Maybe the toe box, you know, if they could almost Munson it out slightly for the big toe. Little toe, I don't have too much of an issue with this last, but that would probably make that one more ideal. But I did try an 11.5D, 11067, and it kind of just felt too long maybe, and narrow, so I didn't like that. And then I feel like an 11.5E is going to feel too long and maybe just too big. I don't know, I've never tried it. If I ever saw one ready to ship, I probably would end up buying it just to check that off and feel sure about it. But if I bought another 11067, I might just have to do that, because I could always throw in a thin insole or wear them with thick socks like I do with my 11EEs. But at the same time, that 11EE seems like it works really well in that methodology. I can wear it with thick boot socks in the winter, thick winter socks, or this summer I decided to throw in a Nicks Chrome XL insole, the ones they sell on, I think I bought it off Amazon actually, where they have a little store on Amazon. And that kind of tightens them up enough that they feel, with my thin socks, they feel similar to the 11E. So I'm not sure why I would do an 11.5E when 11EE seems to kind of address the correct fit with a thicker sock. Anyway, but I think everybody's particular, and I think some people like longer boots versus shorter boots. It's like a preference thing. But yeah, these are the MaxSupport Black Prospectors here. Quickly spin this one around. Like I said, super dope. You gotta love that Prospector, or some people hate it, so I guess it depends on the person you are. I think it's super dope. I love just the profile of it with that sprung toe. Just looks super tough and dope. And then I know some people hate the top down. I think it looks fine. I actually think the 55 seems kind of pointy without it being properly pointy, like a cowboy boot where it's supposed to be pointy, so it's kind of weird. And then, like I said, the 67 is all like square-jawed hardcore when you get the Celastic, but you can tame it down with a soft toe and it still holds its shape decently. But if you want that hardcore 67 Prospector vibe, you kind of got to do that Celastic to get that hardcore toe spring too. It keeps that shape. Yeah, these are super awesome boots. But as I said, they will go. I think I'm going to take pictures maybe both ways. This was my own vibe where I made these kilties from some English tan Dublin I got off, no, sorry, not English tan, no, these are English bridal tan I got off Buckle Guy. So I made these kilties, and then I thought these guard good laces matched this, for some reason, this natural, maybe just from them being used and older, this seems darker. The current gen natural almost has like a salmon-y pinkish color. This is more of like a redwood. And I was like, you know, I have these laces that look like that, and I think that matches really cool. The contrast was me trying to help myself deal with the black. When they're full-on black, it's a little bit too hardcore. I did take some pictures with them that way. I did wear them briefly that way. That was too much. It was just too dark. I just can't handle the whole black boot vibe. But I think the next owner might be a black boot person, and they might dig this. Maybe they'll want to throw a bunch of open offs on this and flip them and make them full rough out. I don't know. But these are options. Later.